I heard what we were talking about. All right, we're live.
All right. Hello.
All right.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. So how do you say your first name? Is it Rico?
It's pronounced Rico. I know it looks like Recio. My mom and dad wanted to be different, so they put the I in there because they were like, people will remember it. So
I like it. So what's the Pepe?
Pepe is my nickname when I was growing up. It's short for Pepicelli, which is Italian. And because that was a long name for a little kid to remember, everybody called me Pepe for short because I was always peppy and happy and excited. Fun. So that's how Tony knows me as Pepe. And everybody from Chicago calls me Pepe. Nobody calls me Rico.
All right, so I'm just typing right now that in the comments so people know. So it's Recio Young, and you're from
Chicago, Illinois, originally by way of the northwest suburbs, which is Hoffman Estates.
Hoffman Estates in the house.
Hoffman Estates
that's here with us. Daniel Williams comes on the show a lot.
Oh, nice.
States, yeah. I remember Daniel.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Somebody said hi from Scotland.
Oh, hi, Scotland. Love you guys.
And Japan.
From Japan.
Oh, love Japan too. Nice. From Fiji, Germany. Can I get some Italy? All my peeps there. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No. So tonight we have Rico. He is correct me if anything I say is wrong. Just please correct me. From the production of Unsolved Mysteries.
Correct. On Netflix, which is airing right now, season 1, the reboot of Unsolved Mysteries.
The reboot of Unsolved Mysteries, which let me just tell you something, is awesome.
Isn't it off the chain?
I love it.
We put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm not kidding when I say that, to get our crew. Oh, actually, we shot in Japan too. I forgot that somebody was saying that, but yeah, we did a lot to get our crew out there, and by God, we pulled it off. So it was awesome.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
The music, I'm so happy you guys kept the music.
Yes, right?
And then I love that little menage of Robert's stack.
Yeah. It is.
Oh my gosh.
It's so
when it was all back in the day, like I had the biggest crush on Robert Stack. I'm like, right? I was like,
we have all these pictures of him when he was young, like when he was on I forgot what that show was in the 40s or 50s, but where he played a cop or something. But he's a good-looking man, even into his older age.
Yeah. Even
his older age.
Right.
The only thing I miss is hearing him say the phone number at the end.
Yeah. 1-800-876-5353. Yes.
I was like, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to just use his voice to say the number, I was like, it's just great to have it back on. Like when I saw it was coming back on, I was like, yes, I love this show.
Right.
Yeah, we were all excited about it.
Yeah. But you guys remember it we were probably all around the same age, but when we were kids, that show was scary because that was right around the time. Remember Adam Walsh was doing America or Cops or what was it? American Most Wanted. So those were the two shows who were kind of creepy for kids like us because remember all the kids our age were getting kidnapped.
Yes.
Remember that's when our parents stopped letting us go out. So Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah. So
yeah. And I remember I didn't miss it. Back in the day, you didn't have DVR. You didn't have stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
so Wednesday. Unsolved Mysteries was on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. I was in front of the TV with my popcorn.
And I got the privilege, what was so nice about this, and I remember when I interviewed for the job, I told the women, I said, you don't understand. Like, ever since I was a little kid, the show, 1, scared the hell out of me, but 2, was like a big dream of mine to like get to meet Robert Stack or work with the people. And then when I got that interview call, I was like, there's no way. I'm taking it. And I was like, I know I was like fanning out, we're supposed to be all professional and, this is going to be a great show. And please, I was like, oh my God, you don't understand how much I love the show. And I want to work with and they were like, you're hired.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So take us to the beginning, because I know there's other shows that you worked on.
Let me give you a little bit about my background. So I started in Hollywood in about 15 years ago. Most notably, I worked on Dancing with the Stars, which everybody knows that show.
Yep.
Tosh.O, which I actually have a segment on that I was on that show.
Oh, Tosh.O.
Yeah, I know. And then you're going to see when I walk you through this, my career's been all over the place because I work freelance. So you work on, whatever show you get work on, you work. Dance with Stars, Tosh.O, American Ninja Warriors, Travel Channel, Hell's Kitchen. I wrote them down because I was trying to remember them all. Go ahead. There's so many. I was like, oh my God, which one? American Ninja Warriors. Nailed It, which I just did. Supermarket Sweep, which is coming back. We just shot that. Obviously, Unsolved Mysteries. And then HGTV is a very Brady renovation. So as you see, my career goes all over the place.
So did you get to meet Ramsey?
Oh yeah, he is really, really nice, by the way. Like
I can see it.
Very nice. He's very good. Don't let the television, and I shouldn't let you in on this little secret, and I know there's millions of you watching, but producers are in his ear that kind of like, are like, say it this way and say it that way.
Oh yeah.
Meaner. And,
I love how he is.
He's a nice guy.
You know what though? You know he's a good guy because he used to have that other one, hotels. Remember he would go to the places and then he would like totally Kitchen Nightmares or Hotel. I think so. Yeah. I worked on that too. Oh my God, I would be crying at the end of the show because he would be so nice and like doing all this stuff for the family.
He really is a nice man. He really is. And he's a smart businessman, very smart.
Yeah. And let me tell you, Hell's Kitchen, when he walks in those restaurants. Yeah. Or not Hell's Kitchen. What's the
there's 24? There's Kitchen Nightmare, Hell's Kitchen.
24.
24. And seriously, it's been so many years since I worked on those shows. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. There's some other ones he's done too. I've worked with Bear Grylls. I've worked, like with Lionsgate, NBC, Kicking and Screaming, The Island. I've been in Panama shows. Like, yeah, I've just been everywhere.
I remember that when you were out in Panama. You were out in the island.
Yeah, we were out there filming.
Fiji. What about Fiji?
No, that was okay. So Panama was when we were filming The Island, and then Kicking and Screaming was when we were in Fiji, and I also got engaged in Fiji. So that was nice.
That's on my bucket list. Yeah, Fiji's on my bucket list.
Let me know. I got the hookup. If you need the hookup, I'll tell you guys where to go. No, I'm dead serious, by the way. Like
I know where to go for Los Angeles. Though.
Yeah, I know the first lady of Fiji. I know the first lady of Fiji. So yeah, just let me know. She's awesome.
Oh my goodness. Well, now we're BFFs. First, I'm gonna I gotta come on the set of Unsolved Mysteries. I'll just sit back there. If I can play a dead person. I can
I had to play a cop in a corner. So on our show, it was so awesome.
So, all right. So before we got all
I just wanted to give y'all my background so you knew.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted you to do. So you moved? Have you always lived in LA or?
No, so let me go. You want to take it back? Or you really want
to take it back? I want to know.
Take it back. Let me take it back. I didn't know you wanted to go back that far. Okay, so I grew up in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, which is a suburb outside of Chicago. I grew up in an all-white, rich neighborhood with Tony. Tony was my first friend ever in that suburb. We were 3 years old. We were in preschool together. And what was that? Kinder? Yeah, he bought the pictures. Yeah. Yeah. I told you all white, the only black kid. I would have been considered token. Okay. So yeah, that's me.
Oh, look how cute your smile was.
Yeah. So look, see, I was that was our life. But I loved it. All these people I'm still friends with. I know their wives, their kids. They know my kids. Just that was a good salt of the earth Midwest town, Hoffman Estates. Loved that place. Still love it, and it was just good. So lived there. Grew up with Tony. Me and him were besties for a long minute. Then when I left Chicago, I went to college in Michigan. Lived there for 4 years. Left Michigan. Went back to Chicago, worked at this subrogation firm in their legal department for 6 years, then moved to San Francisco, worked in their insurance company for about 2 years, and then moved down to LA where I've been ever since. And then I dived into television. Television was not my dream. I always wanted to be a corporate lawyer. That's what I went to school for, to be a lawyer. And then I kind of just fell into television, and I have no regrets. I'm so happy, even though I work 18-hour days, 7 days a week. maybe 3 hours of sleep averaging. I love it. I'm living my dream. I get to meet people like you. You know, it's just great. It's fun. It's exciting. Live your dreams. And I don't regret going to college either, but I live your dreams. So
yeah,
that is
awesome. How did you just fall into television? Like, were you like working on like a corporate something or? No.
So there's this girl, and it's funny. I just told her the story. I was just with her a few months ago. There's this girl at my job, hot, just like you two, all three of you. Girl,
thank you.
I like hanging out with the hotties. Okay, so me and this girl became really good friends, and I told her, you know, we were like, you know, you just get bored. I'd been in corporate America for about 8 years, and I was just bored. And she goes, Rico, you should go down to LA. You do really well in LA. Your personality, and I'm like, I don't want to act. I don't want to. You know, I wasn't into that stuff. I was like, I want to be a lawyer. And she goes, you should go down there. So I went down and auditioned for Dreamgirls. Remember that movie back in 2006?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Anika Anna, only I probably screwing up her name. But anyways, so I auditioned for that, got it. That was my first audition ever for a movie. Got it as a featured extra. And then me and the woman who played my wife have this one scene where we get up and we're dancing in the movie. And I just fell in love with television. That's how this all happened. I just literally, from that, I quit my job. I mean, I did other projects, other shows, and I've been on Grey's Anatomy, played a cop. I always get a cast as a cop. Played a cop on Grey's Anatomy too, and I just fell in love with television. I absolutely adore television. So
yeah. So then, you're kind of doing both. You're not just doing production, but you're kind of like.
Now I'm mostly producing and directing because I'm producing my own projects too, and on other shows too. But I'm also have my own production company called Red Carpet Rico Productions. Google it. You can look at the website. So
yeah, awesome. No, absolutely. Like,
how did you get to that point then? How did you get to what made you go to production?
So what happened is about right after 2016 and going to Fiji, like doing the one show I shot, Tony, I made a good chunk of money, and my husband and he was like, you need to start your own production company. And I said, okay. So I started my own production company, and we started like all of our funding, our financing, and we started producing our own projects. And we're working on my own documentary I just shot now called Rico's Venetian Wedding, because I just got married in Venice last year. And we
beautiful pictures, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, we're producing projects all over the world. We work with another friend of ours, a good friend of ours. Do you remember the show Talk Soup? Remember that?
Yes, absolutely.
So we're good friends with him. He's one of the ones too that kind of helped me. Like, Rico, you got to get up, you got to get running, you got to start producing your own stuff. I'm seeing the shows you're working on. It's your time to shine. Run, baby. So him.
Right, so was it the guy, the first guy that was on Talk Soup?
Not Joe McHale. It's the guy who produced the show. So one of the
okay.
Yeah, one of the producers. Yeah, his name is Greg. But yeah. So I you know how just chance things happen. Like I said, I met that hot girl at my job. She told me to come down and audition. I auditioned, got the part. From that, I fell in love with television. I started doing background work. I worked on a bunch of HBO shows, Grey's Anatomy. Then I worked in Dance with the Stars, then Tosh.O, and then Travel Channel, and on my career went. And yeah, I literally just fell into television. And then now this is the sweet spot because I'm still young enough that I'm starting my own, I started my own production company 3 years ago. It's taken off. We're working with other investors and other productions. We got a bunch of projects that are coming up. And this is it's been great. I'm living my dream and I'm very happy. So
how do you do that and still be a part of, like up and coming, series? I'm assuming, they're like Unsolved Mysteries isn't going to stop with just one season.
No, they're not. And by the way, we have 6 more episodes launching in October. I don't know the date yet. I want to say the 19th, but I'm probably wrong. So don't quote me on that. But we have 6 more episodes coming up on Unsolved Mysteries that will have a ghost episode because we're obviously paranormal, and a lot more scary episodes. You're gonna love what you're about to see coming up. So I get what you're saying with your question. How do you do both? It's juggling, like literally. So last year, let me just give you a quick synopsis of 2019. Not only was I getting married, so that was a production, right? No, it was. We were filming that wedding. We were filming that wedding. That's a production. Unsolved Mysteries. Like, so I was like, you're multitasking. You're wearing multiple hats. So it's a lot of work. That's what I mean about the 18-hour days, 20-hour days, 7 days a week, maybe 3 hours of sleep. Yeah, a brother's haggard.
It's so. One thing that you said to me that really sticks out is that you said, my husband said you need to do, like, the support. Like, if you didn't have that support.
He's very supportive.
And understanding. You have to have that understanding.
You know what happened when I went to, and Anthony knows this, when I was in New Jersey, because Anthony and I met up. Remember when I filmed in New Jersey? Remember 5 years back?
We met up in Long Island.
Yeah, we met in Long Island. And Romy's my husband. He goes, you work, in Panama when I had to work those crazy hours. Then I was getting about 30 minutes of sleep. And he said to me, he goes, Rico, you are busting your ass for other people, for other people's productions, for other people's dreams. And it's good. I get it. You're paying your dues. He goes, but it's your time to shine. It's your time to make a move. And he goes, and I got you 100%. I'll back you 100%. Whatever you want to do it. And me, because I'm very independent, I don't rely on anybody. I'm afraid to rely. I've never had anybody to fall back on. I've always been the guy everybody called and I took care of them. Right. So I've never had that kind of support. So it was very difficult for me. And I was kind of kicking and screaming, if you will, about doing it because I was like, well, wait till I have this and wait till I do this. And he's like, no, we got to go now. So, yeah.
So being on
Unsolved Mysteries.
Right. So you before we came on, I know we talked like for a second about it, but so you're kind of into the paranormal stuff.
I love it. Man, it's funny that the shows like Dance with the Stars and Tosh.O, I watch, last night, all I watch is murder shows. Like Romy laughs because he's like, are you preparing how you're going to kill me? And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to figure out at what point people decided divorce wasn't good enough. Like, I'm going to roll your ass up in a rug and kill you instead of just saying, you know what, this isn't working. Let's get a divorce. Right. In your mind where you like, I'm going to go ahead and kill them. I'm going to go ahead and kill this. So that my mind is like, like at what point do people get there? So
you got to take it a step further. They think that, and then they go, and I'll get away with it.
Holy cow!
I love scary stuff, murder and gore. I love that stuff. Like that's so Unsolved was right up my alley because that's the stuff. As you see how I light up, like I love that. I'm like a kid when it comes to that. I love the reenactments. I know it's crazy and creepy, but murder shows, I just love it.
Yeah, I know.
Dice and dice, the more the better. Like I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, ID on Discovery like has some of the best shows. Because I love watching that. However, I didn't get a 37 zone alarm system on my house after watching a couple of days of ID on. I'm like,
because then you don't trust anybody. You don't trust your neighbors. Hell, you don't even trust who you married to. Sometimes you like,
you get done watching that for 4 hours. I'm like, I'm like, is he sleeping?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, So I just love shows like that, like paranormal, scary shows. Everything.
Well, if you're producing any scary shows, we'll be your extras.
Well, we will be talking, and I'm not just saying that. Like, we will be talking. We will. Yeah. Even my aunt. Sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Oh, so my aunt, we shot an episode in Ohio, and I'm not giving too much away on Unsolved Mysteries. And one of the producers on the show goes to me. She goes, "Rico, we're shooting this one episode, and I forgot what the guy's name is now, but." She goes, you know anyone in Ohio that lives in Mansfield or in that area? And I was like, yeah, actually.
Mansfield.
Right. So I called my aunt got on the show and helped with some of she gave us some I knew that guy. We knew a guy who murdered. It was crazy. So I'm saying you never know. You might get a call from me. Do you know somebody in New Jersey that killed this person or, someone in Scotland, someone in Japan, whatever. You never know. So you might get a call from me.
Yeah, listen, we could always film documentaries. We got the Pine Barrens. We got the Jersey Devil out there. The Pine Barrens are nothing but there's abandoned places back there. It's you got, there's cemeteries you go to where it's, the EVPs you get,
with all of that. I love that stuff.
Yeah. So we have some pretty cool locations, where, you know, that would be
Penhurst. You got Penhurst. You got
I watched all of that on a Haunting. I think it was a Haunting. Those episodes.
Yes, yeah.
That's Penhurst. Yeah,
we have stuff out here for sure. Yeah.
Good.
Selma Mansion.
Selma Mansion.
Oh, see,
a lot of
Chicago.
Chicago
has a lot of haunted places.
Yes.
Hell, even where I used to live, I'll tell you about that later. But there was haunting places. So.
Well, that's why I started. You know that, Pepe, that I started in Hoffman Estates. I was always the weirdo. You knew I was always the person that was interested in all that. Oh no,
I'm a weirdo too. Don't get
my first I am. And my first case was the graveyard over there.
Yeah,
you know,
my house, the one right up the hill from my house.
Well, you go past the lake, you go past the man-made lake.
Yeah,
George's whatever, Lake George, whatever.
Yeah,
and you go up the hill, and then it's right over there. Yeah,
that's where that cemetery was, literally right up the street from my house, and it was haunted. No joke. That was a haunted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll have to revisit it.
Well, I have a story really quick. So I don't know if you remember Berto. Do you remember Berto?
The name sounds familiar.
And then Kenny, they're older than us, but they were kind of punks. You know, they were the punk subculture. So they go to the graveyard, they get drunk at night. And this is before Photoshop.
Yeah,
I know. I hope I'm not going to say their names, for full names, but there's that willow tree over there, that kind of like by the chain link fence. It's still there, I believe. I haven't been in a while. And there's like this huge trunk that sticks out into the graveyard. Mm-hmm. So they're over there. They're getting drunk. They're drinking around. They're getting stupid. They're throwing bottles at So they took a picture. Kenny took a picture of Berto next to the tree, and there's this ectoplasm of a rope around his neck,
around your friend's neck.
Yes, Berto's neck. You can see it. This is before photo. You can doc photos.
Yeah,
where you can see an ectoplasm of a thing that looks like a rope.
Message that dude.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
I want to see that picture.
Those ghosts don't like that cemetery. My mom goes, if I would have known there was a cemetery. We're like, Ma, we told you there was a cemetery. But she goes, I would have never moved there, but I'm glad she did because I never would have met Tony. So, you guys gotta understand, I love this man almost more than my husband. Sorry, I said. Think about it. He's known me the longest, like out of any of my friends. Who can say they've known somebody there since they were 3 years old?
Yeah,
who can say that?
And still
keeps in touch. Yeah. Like me and Tony haven't skipped a beat. He still looks the same to me as he did back then. He missed that little mullet he used to have.
I had long hair all the way. You know it.
That picture, Tony.
Yeah, I used to have a high top fade like Kid and Play.
I had the Elvis hair.
Yeah. But I love this guy. He's just, how you just meet good people in your life, and like he's got Sabrina, he's got you, Terrence, like just good, salt to the earth, Midwest, good values, hardworking. I love this man. He's a great guy. And I just love what Hoffman Estates gave to us. They gave us a really great childhood. Like it simplified what the 80s was, like how beautiful that time period was.
Absolutely.
No, it's true, man. We were experimenting.
Yeah,
because we were new. The community was new.
Yeah, it was brand new. It was a new suburb, very new. Yeah, suburb.
Just like the suburbs in Spain on Chicago, we were part of that, and was experimental, and we just kind of like so much personality. We all loved each other. There was no prejudice. There was no racial issues.
There was no racial issues.
We were all together, man.
But you know what it reminds me when you were saying about the cemetery, and you have this Hoffman Estates, and all I think is poltergeist. Like, all I think
poltergeist. Came out 3 years after we moved in that house. 3 years. My mom was like, he was like, and I said, see, Ma, you don't know if these houses weren't built on top of a cemetery.
That's what I'm realizing.
Just that little piece of
land that scene where he's on like at the cemetery, and they're looking down at the community, and they're like, oh well, we just build the houses right on top.
Yeah. We didn't move the bodies, by the way.
You moved the headstones, not the bodies. Was that?
That was the scene.
And that took place in California.
Yeah.
Poltergeist, I love Poltergeist. But Poltergeist 3 took place in Chicago in the Sears Tower.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Fun fact. Yeah.
So I have to say, because I keep thinking about how you were saying about how that was like before I knew I was into the paranormal stuff, watching Unsolved Mysteries back in the day, where there would be like, the because I do like, IDL Discovery has like the missing, that one show Missing, where it's like by the end of it, you still don't know if they ran away or if they were kidnapped or, so all that stuff. But I remember every once in a while, Robert would bust out with that, a ghosty one. He'd be like, go see this, and those were the ones that I would be like,
Do you remember the episode? And everyone remembers this episode. This is Unsolved Mysteries. And I asked one of the producers, and she got me the episode because they actually had to pull it down because the family was getting calls all these decades later. Do you remember the episode of the haunted bunk bed? Do you remember that? That scared the hell out of me.
Hold on. Is that the Horicon, Wisconsin case?
I don't know. It was just a haunted, but these family got this. That's
it. That's it.
It's the bed. They put the bed together, and it the bed was haunted, not the house.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And to this day, that episode is #1 on that show, and really? I still that. It scared the ish out of me.
That's a well-known.
Scared the ish out of me. That was scary. Haunted bunk bed.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That was scary.
No.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It is. They put the bed out in front of their house, and it came back in, and finally they burned the bed. It was
they finally got rid of the bed.
The bed was like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going nowhere. The bed was like, I wish a mother was the wood, Man, that was scary. That was scary.
I got my stomach hurts from laughing so much.
Oh, no, we're supposed to be all scary and gloomy. I'm sorry.
No, this is awesome.
Fun stuff of horror.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, if the bed bunks, if they're still around, we should call John Zaffis and have him come get them.
Right.
Have you personally ever had an experience?
Yes. In Hoffman Estates, in that house that I was telling you about.
The cemetery, probably.
Quick story. Okay. So I think it was either 82 or 83. I cannot remember. I'm good with my years, but I can't remember which year. All I remember is, our garage was everybody would come get, we had fishing poles, all this stuff in our garage. And again, the cemetery was right up the hill from our house.
With the cemetery.
We used to play Ghosts in the Graveyard. We would play all these other scary stuff, And one evening, I remember in 82 or 83, I hid my cousin's bike. Oh, you're welcome, Megan. I hid my cousin's bike in the woods. And I was much younger than him. And I remember he's like, where's my bike? Where's my bike? And I'm like, dude, it's, just go get it. And I finally told him where it was. So he went up and he looked and he's like, come here. And you know how you think because we're young kids, we're like, he's just bullshitting us. And you guys got to see this. So one by one, and we're all boys, right? So we're all going up, a little sweaty, just nasty boys, smell. I can still smell that smell. So we're running around, we're up in the woods, and we see this. The only way I can describe it is at that time, I'm a little kid. It had to have been 9 feet tall, and I'm not kidding.
Oh, wow.
And it was round, round. It had all dark, and it had these yellow eyes, and it just stood there in silence. There was no wind, no chirping, no no crickets, nothing. Just everything around that was quiet. And we were like, what the hell is that? So my cousin's bike was behind that thing, the entity. And we how you grab something, but you're trying to not go all the way in, and you're grabbing the foot of the bike, and we dragged the bike out. And they're like, you got to get it. You're the one who put it in there. I'm like, I'm not getting it. So they make me grab the bike. I get it out. So then we all run down. We get poles, fishing poles, sticks, rocks out of our garage. We run back up the hill and we start throwing it at this thing. And it's going right through it. And so some of us are behind it. Whatever we threw went through it, but didn't come out. Does that make sense?
Whoa.
It didn't come like if we threw a stick at Tony, it's going to hit him and at least bounce off. It went through it, but did not come out on the other side. So it was like a black mass. So one by one, we're all like cursing at it, doing all these horrible things. And wait, there's this woman, she's sitting, so there's a log, and then there's this woman who's like, you can't make her out, but you can tell it's a woman. She had long hair, she's in all white, but I mean like a glowing white, where you can't make out the face, she's sitting down, you know it's a woman because of the hair and how she's sitting, like demure and all that. And I was like, what the hell? You know, all of us were just like, what is this thing? So that night, you know, we throw it, we run back down. I go to my mom. I said, Mom, you got to come up. You got to see this. And you know how parents are. You boys, stop playing around up in those woods. We're like, no, seriously, there's something in there. It doesn't move. There's this dark thing behind it. And there's this woman sitting on a log. We don't know what it is. And we're freaking the F out. So my mom's like, leave it alone. So fast forward. That's black women for you too. She was like, next. I think she didn't want to know. So that night, so we throw stuff at it, nothing happens, right? So we all go home. This is like, you know, like remember the lights go off. You're supposed to. It was dark already. Yeah. We go home. I remember me and my brother are in. So at that time, my cousin lived next door to us. We lived there, and this is, you got to listen to this because this is going to be creepy. What I'm about to explain to happen. So the guy across the street from us, their family always went to church, always, religiously. But he was a part of what we were doing, okay? As you got to remember this for the story. So the guy across the street, he goes to church. At that time, we didn't go to church. My cousin didn't go to church. The guy down the block didn't go to church. The other guy didn't go to church, right?
Oh, wow.
All of us were in our house, and the lights go off in my brother's room. And we're like, okay, whatever. We turn the lights back on. The lights go off again. Now, remember in the 80s, when you would hit a switch, the breaker switch, it would kill all bedroom lights, not just the one bedroom, all of them. So we're checking the breaker, and only the lights in the room that we were in kept going off. My cousin, we didn't know because remember, we're all in our own individual houses. He's experiencing the same thing.
Oh, wow.
Our other friends, he goes home to take a shower. The lights shut off. And now he's in the, you know, and he hears something running his fingers across the shower curtain. So he thought his mom was messing with him because his mom used to walk his little brother every night. And then our other buddy, Slugger, I'll never forget Slugger. Everybody has he was like a really pudgy fat kid, but you hung out with him because, you know, you had
Goonies.
Yeah, like Goonies, yeah. So Slugger's ass didn't take a shower. He goes right to bed, but he has his Atari. Now, you know I'm taking it back because I'm naming stuff. He had his radio and his Atari sitting, but his Atari was sitting on a TV stand, and his radio used to sit on his little window because that's how we rolled in the 80s. And something knocked his radio off the window, so he puts it back and knocked it off, and he puts it back. And then his Atari fell down, and just all this weird shit was happening in our house. Now, this is that night. So the next morning, we get up, and we all, you know, you run out the house. We're like, oh, my God, you never believe what happened. You know, everybody's trying to at the same time. And we're in Slugger's telling us about, you know, like, yeah, my Atari kept falling. Steven is like, yeah, I thought my mom was playing jokes on me. She kept killing the lights. And then that night he felt like someone was watching him. Now, Henrique lived across the street from us, okay? Yes, I know. Not one thing happened to his house. You hear what I'm saying, why I said this? Not one thing happened to their house. We were like, no lights went off? No. No weird things? Nothing. And we all were like, so what are we, just bad people? Like we did the same thing we did. Do you know what I'm saying? And nothing happened. So wait, so me and his sister Marisa, we went up the hill that day to the cemetery. Now you understand, nobody's been buried in the cemetery since like 1835, right, Tony? Yes. Nobody. When we went up there to that cemetery, there was a freshly digged grave, you know, like a mound of dirt, like you would just put a body there.
Yeah.
And me and Marisa were standing there, and, you know, it was kind of cloudy a little bit that morning when we went. This was like 10 or 11 in the morning. And all of a sudden, the clouds opened up just over the grave, and the sun was like shining down on it. And me and Marisa were like, what the? And, you know, we said, you know, we're like, what the heck? And we fucking bolt. Oh, and there was a pitchfork in the, like somebody had just. And I remember going to, because we were like, nobody's been buried here ever. You know what I mean? Like, ever. So why is there a freshly dug grave? So then me and Marisa go to where that thing, the entity was, and where the thing's feet were. And it sucks, we're on Zoom, but the thing where the thing's feet are so huge, where that mass, I call it a demon, where this thing was standing, and then where the woman was sitting, it was all singed as if like whatever her aura or spirit was burned it. It was just singed in that spot where she sat.
Oh, wow.
And nothing else ever happened to us again, but it scared the hell out of all of us kids.
You know, you got to make a movie out of that.
That's incredible.
Right.
That's an incredible story.
All of them, I still talk to I still know like Enrique and Marisa and them, but Slugger and Steve. Slugger, I have no idea where he is. And my cousin I still talk to too, obviously. But that was some scary. It was scary. I don't know if you can swear. That's why I haven't sworn.
Yes.
It's laid back, you know.
All right, cool. I didn't want to like swear, but yeah, it's some scary shit. It really was. It was scary.
Yeah, the people that can get authorized to bury there usually have a connection to politics, the political circle in Hoffman States, or they were like there before it was the Barrington Square community. But still, that doesn't change this incredible story you just shared with us.
I know. You're a producer. You got to write that and put that.
Yeah, it was scary. It was very, because think about that stuff. Think about that stuff that like that happened to all of us. Do you know what I mean? Like the light, and I know it wasn't like like they choked us or nothing, but lights going off in the house, but not in my mom's room, not in my sister's room, only in the room. And the same thing happened to my cousin. Slugger's radio like freaking knocked out of the window. Oh my God. Hold on. Sorry. I forgot a part. So Slugger, wait. The next morning, that's right. So Slugger explained how the radio, you know how it was, because we used to, in the 80s, we did that. You would put your radio in the window.
Yes.
So people could hear it. I forgot all about this. I'm sorry. So Slugger's radio, no one's holding it. So not only did it come in the room, it went out of the window. Now remember, no one's holding it. So you know how it had the little thing you could hold it?
Yeah.
And it went out, came back in, out, came back in, and came in and fell on the floor. I forgot all about that part. That shit was scary as like, you know, and we're all, and none of us can make this up because we all were just running out to tell each other, what happened to your house last night? And then Enrique, of course, was like, nothing, you know. It was crazy, dude, crazy. So after that, we stopped playing Ghost in the Graveyard in that cemetery. We didn't play hide and go seek. I didn't hide my cousin's bike there anymore. And we just stopped going there because it was like, that was some crazy shit. It was crazy.
That does. I mean, it almost sounds like, because after you said about the feet thing, it almost sounds like it could have been like Bigfoot or something. But the fact that
I wish I could draw it for you guys, because when I've drawn it, people were like, I get it. Like, it looked like a demon, like, but not like with the horns and shit, just a solid mass. Like, picture me, but like 9 feet tall, and my head is wider, but it was this round as my head, but wider, all black. And it looked like it had hair, you know, like it was just all hair. And then
it sounds like Bigfoot,
like a gold colored looking eyes. And it would just look at you. And it didn't move. It didn't make a noise. Like, it was dead silent. But
you know what though? I'm not a big cryptozoology believer, you know.
Right.
But claims of Bigfoot, when people, you know, think that they're around, or it's around or whatever, there's no wildlife, there's no sound in the woods, there's no this, and then you're talking about hair, you're talking about how big the feet were.
Yeah, but this thing didn't look like Bigfoot. So it was probably as tall, but it was smooth. Like, I don't know how to. It was just evenly like shaped like this, and it just stood there, you know, just foreboding and just like, you knew whatever it was like, you don't belong here. It never said anything, it never spoke, neither did the woman, but it gave you that energy like, you don't belong here, leave us alone. And then we're throwing rocks and poles and shit at it, and it was like, I'll show you little fuckers. You know?
Yeah, right.
That night.
You mentioned something about when you threw these objects at this entity. I'm going to say entity. Yeah, you didn't see it come through the backside.
No, because we made someone stand. So a few of us boys are in front, but we made people stand behind it too. So if it ran, we could, you know what I mean? Yeah. So the boys who were standing, because they were within eye distance of us, and they were like, dude, they're like, it's not like, they saw it going through, but they, you know, like hitting the thing, but it should have went through it or hit it and fell down. You get what I'm saying? It just went into the black mass of whatever that thing was. You get what I'm saying? And that's why we were all like, we were like, what is this thing? Like, we could have walked in there and probably never came back. But whatever it was, you couldn't. It just wasn't. It was not of this world. and it was definitely demonic, like, or whatever. I'll just call it an entity. But it was not. It didn't, like I said, it didn't come after us. It wasn't like woo, you know, or whatever. Right. It just came. It just was like, leave me alone, and you'll be fine. And we didn't. So
those objects, you never recovered.
Never, and they weren't there the next day. Never, gone. So all of our fishing poles gone. All of our
really.
All our long sticks from lumber and shit that you've done in your house, gone. Rocks, you know, like those big, gone. Everything was gone. It just went in it and just disappeared. And like, never, till this day.
If I'd have seen some shit like that, I ran. I would have ran. I'd be like,
young boys from the Midwest.
I never experienced.
Young boys from the Midwest, and I'm not saying boys from all over the world wouldn't do this. We're hard-headed. We're hard-headed boys. We don't know any better. We think we know better. And we think we're badasses and we're tough. And you're trying to outdo the other guy so you don't look like a pussy. You know, like we're trying to, you know what I mean? We're trying to man up. And it was like, we're like 6 and 7 and 8. You know what I mean? And we're trying to man it up. But you were scared, but you weren't. Like, if that thing would have came after us, I probably would have been like shitting my pants. But because it just stood there and never moved. Even when I grabbed the bike from behind it, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not that bad. But it was.
Can you imagine if you drove your bike into and you wouldn't have found your bike? Like,
where would it just rolled it through?
Yeah, what happens? You just rolled through it.
Yeah, it would have just gone.
I need my bike.
We wouldn't be in this interview if you just got on your bike and rolled through it. Then you would have went through the vortex or whatever it was, the portal.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Maybe you would have came back as like a 40-year-old in that year.
Yeah. But whatever it was, to this day, that thing, well, it doesn't scare me anymore, but I remember in 2012, I went back to there. Every time I get a chance to go to Hoffman Estates, I always go back to that cemetery because it's a memory in my brain. And in 2012, I went back with my friend Peter. And he's like, what are you doing? I said, I want to take a few pictures around the cemetery. And we did. And then I went and stood in the middle of my street. And I just went like this. And I just closed my eyes. And I was like, just trying to, I'm telling you, I'm a weirdo. So I like wanted to like channel, like I literally was like channeling 1982, if you will, or 83. And I just was like, I want to understand, what was that? Was it a sign? What were you trying to tell me? I know that was years ago. I know this is 2012 now. And nothing happened, but I felt almost like I was releasing whatever that memory was, the scaredness. I was releasing it in that moment because I just felt all that, just something like kind of whoosh out of me. And then it was like that, you know, I still remember it, but it wasn't as scary as it had been for so many decades. So,
you know, what's interesting is that you said that when you were there, you had the feeling that it was like saying, don't you come back here, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you guys left, came back, through shit, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then you go home, all this stuff happens. So like, I feel like it was kind of like, all right, that's it. Like, seeing me didn't scare the shit out of you.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to start messing with you at your home.
Yeah.
And it worked. You guys didn't go back.
We never did. Never did. And for me and Marisa to go back, we're fools. You know, you think back now, you're like, you were a fool. Little children.
Oh, I was thinking that while you're telling the story.
Hopping the fence to get in the cemetery, crawling over graves, and then to stand next to whatever that was buried the night before with the pitchfork in it. And me and Marisa were just like, this is some creepy shit. Like it was, we were like, we scared up in here. We didn't use the word scared back then, but I'm telling you now, we were scared in '83, y'all. Scared.
That's great. So is that ever the only thing that you've ever?
No. Then I had, let's see, in college. So this is in Michigan. In college, I had in my freshman year. This is a long story. I'm going to sum it up. So I had a roommate. He was from Wisconsin. The first, and I should have known, and again, I'm trying to like kind of what I told you with the church. So the first night I slept in my dorm room, I had this picture of like a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and like some, you know, like guys with the cars and stuff, pictures. Yeah. And I remember the first night I put it on the wall. My dorm room mate is sleeping on his thing. I'm sleeping on mine. And we're going to sleep. First night in that room, that picture, and it's huge, fell off the wall and landed in my mouth like this. So picture some big picture like this painting, but the corner of it, it was like someone took it and just shoved it in my mouth like that. And I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? And I threw it down, right? I threw it down, and I was just like, that was weird. You know, I thought maybe it fell, but when a picture falls off a wall, it just either falls or it'll slide down. It doesn't come. My bed was like away from the wall. It came over and like and just shoved it in my mouth.
This is not funny.
It is funny. It is funny. So I go to Don. I said, Don, what the hell was that? He goes, I don't know. He goes back to sleep. I go back to sleep. So I'm a big car fanatic. So I had like all my Motor Trend magazines on my desk in my dorm room. I'm anal retentive. I'm a neat freak. All my Motor Trends are like perfect. You know, they're all filed perfectly. Yeah. I'm laying on my bunk, and then all of a sudden, something like went to move all of my Motor Trends, like to mess it up. And I thought, and you know, I'm a very I don't always like, oh, it's a ghost. I thought, well, maybe the window wasn't closed up. You know, I'm always like, maybe, you know, whatever. So I checked the window's closed, didn't think anything of it. Fast forward, Don is dating this girl named Lori. By this time, our bunk beds are, you know, we're bunk beds. I'm on the top bunk, he's on the bottom.
Okay,
Don and his girlfriend. Yeah, now we do. Back to bunk beds, right? So Don and his girlfriend are making out on the bottom bunk, right? I'm sitting up on the top bunk, just chilling. And Lori goes, stop it. And we're like, what are you talking about? She goes, is that you, Rico? And I said, bitch, I'm all the way up here. How am I touching your back? You know what I'm saying? So then she thought it was Don, and it wasn't. And then she goes, somebody keeps grabbing her. So then finally we're sitting there, and we, you know, again, not thinking ghost. Lori goes, ah! And we're like, what? She's like, there's a man right by your dresser. And I'm like, I'm looking by the dresser. Me and Don are like, no, she's like, there is a man standing there. You don't see him? And I'm like, no, we don't see him. And she's like, oh my God, he's laughing at you guys. He sees us. Like, she's like, he's right there. And we're like, we can't see him. Lori, we can't see him. So, and then me, you got to understand, because it had been years since that happened with that thing in the graveyard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking shit. I'm like, he ain't in here. He ain't shit. You know, I'm like, he ain't gonna do shit. He ain't shit. He was born shit. Like, I'm like, ain't nothing in this room. Ready? Ready. Know where this is going. So I'm laying on my bunk bed, look at probably Motor Trend or something. And all of a sudden, you know how you take a flashlight, and if you were to put, you know, shine it up to the wall, it leaves that little ring, like that white spot.
Yeah.
This thing went bam, like right in front of me, and I was like, holy shit. And it like let me know it was there. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, oh my God, I believe you. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Da, 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 da. And Don goes, oh my God, I know who that is. Because me and Lori are like screaming and shit because the thing is in the room, and like Don now seeing it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm sorry I talked all that shit. I apologize. You know, please don't, like, because I was like, what the fuck is this? So I told or Don goes, I know who that is. It's Charlie. I'm like, and we're like, who the fuck is Charlie? He goes, it's Charlie. He goes, okay. And then he starts telling this long story about Charlie, who was in his room when he was down in Wisconsin. But Charlie only goes where the moral of the story is Charlie would only stay in Don's room. Mm-hmm. And I kept saying, well, you live in fucking Wisconsin. Why is he up here? You know, like I kept saying that. And he goes, this is now my room, Rico. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. And he goes, he's fun. He's fine. I know who that is now. He likes to play jokes. Whenever my mom and dad used to fight, Charlie would come out and he would like protect me, and he would make sure I was okay. And I'm like freak, you know, me and Lori are like bitches at this point, like clutched and like, oh, we are petrified. And I'm like, can you please tell Charlie to leave? Please tell him to stop messing with my Motor Trend. And can you please tell him to stop scaring the shit out of me? I'm like, this is my freshman year away from school. I just left Hoffman Estates. I'm like, I'm tired of this shit. I was so scared. So when Don would leave the room, Charlie would leave. I didn't know that at first. When Don was in our room, weird shit would happen in our room. Don got kicked out a few months after that, and I had the room by myself. But I was scared because I thought that thing was still there. So I went home to my pastor, and I told him about what happened. And he gave me this verse to read, and he gave me holy water. And I'm like, I got to do this? He goes, you have to do it. I said, can you just come up to my college and do this? He goes, no, you have to do this because it's your domain. You have to let that thing know that's your domain.
Yeah.
So I went back. And by the way, nobody came in my room, just so you know. Like, after this story, I used to sleep in other people's dorm rooms. I was, like, sleeping in class because I was so tired. And I did that. I cleansed the room. Nothing ever happened. I stopped swearing because I was afraid it was going to come back and get me. And I remember this one guy, I'll never forget. I think his name was, I can't remember, whatever. Ray. So Ray comes in my room, and Ray is like, I heard about this shit in your room, Rico. This is some bullshit. Like, he's swearing. And I was like, don't swear, dude. He goes, no, do not swear. And now, mind you, there's girls and their guys. We're all in my room. We're talking. And Ray is rocking. You know how you rock on a chair, the sticks of a chair, like a desk chair, like the 4 pegs? And something went bam and, like, kicked the leg. He fell flat on his fucking back. I said, I told you don't swear in this room. I said, I told you. I said, I don't even swear in my room anymore. I said, whatever was in here, I cleansed, but I need to be good. Like, I need to just, So, yeah, that was my other paranormal experience. It was crazy.
I can't even drink. I'm going to spit it out.
I know, I'm so sorry.
I get so, you're so animated. Like, I totally can picture.
I know, because I want you to visualize what I'm saying.
Because he's animated too.
Yeah.
It must be a Hoffman Estates thing.
Yeah, it must be. I don't want to be like, and I sat in my room and the chair kicked down. And as the chair laid there, I wondered what might happen to Rick.
Right. I love it. It's
I was so scared and petrified. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Like, I was really scared. I was petrified. I thought, oh my God, I couldn't believe I saw that white light on the roof. And I said, Charlie, you should leave. Like, come on. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how the other side is just unexplainable. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to anything. But you want to challenge something you can't see. Best believe.
Yeah.
Everybody go, okay.
But that's why now when I watch these shows and people challenge it because what happened to me, I'm like, good luck, bitch. Good luck. I know what happened to me. Like, when I challenged it, because I had seen the ghost in Hoffman Estates. Right. But I'm like, you're in college. I'm 19. You're all cocky and shit. I was like, it ain't going to do nothing to me. And I was like very cocky towards it. And it was like, okay, bitch, watch this. And it came after me. And I was like a little bitch after that. So
yeah.
You're 2 strikes, Rico.
Yeah.
Now.
Right. So yeah, Charlie put me in my place.
So what's like on the horizon for you? I know you said sadly, we only have 6 minutes left.
I know, that's what I was trying to hurry to get through that story. I was watching the clock myself. Sorry.
No. I mean, believe me, this is great. I love it. But I want to just give some, I want you to like plug some stuff that's going to be going on for you and all that stuff.
So Unsolved Mysteries will be coming back in October on Netflix. I don't know the dates yet for sure, but I'll let you know.
And there's going to be some ghosties and
you're going to love it. That's the one in Japan, the episode we shot in Japan. Phenomenal. You'll love it. Phenomenal. Say it again.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Oh, he's
Japanese. I don't. Ohayou gozaimasu. Konnichiwa.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Is good night. Yeah, it's good mornings, Ohio. Anyways, I know a lot of Japanese.
So there's that. Supermarket Sweeps also starts in October. That's coming back.
Yeah.
I feel he nailed it on Netflix. And then obviously we're shooting our documentary for Rico's Venetian Wedding and a couple of our other projects, Artful Living with Romy Cordier. Those are coming up on the horizon. Yeah, just check out redcarpetricoproductions.com and you'll see it. I have an Instagram page and all that. And you can see what projects I'm working on and what projects are coming up. But and I always promote like Unsolved Mysteries. Any show I'm on, I always promote it on social media, and so you'll get to see it. But it's great.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah,
like
really awesome.
Yeah,
I'm you got to come back on again. Like this was just like when we used to just be when we used to do our show just on Paranormal Brew's page, we had all the time in the world. Sometimes we were on there talking for like 2 hours, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and then we joined Paranormal Warehouse, which is awesome because, you know, we're getting a lot of, you know, we're meeting new people and getting a lot of views and shares and, you know what I mean? Which is awesome to be here, you know, but unfortunately our time is limited. And I mean, like, I feel like we could talk like for hours and hours.
Me and him have tons of stories.
And Anthony said that we could be on here for hours.
I love this guy. Love this cat. Love him.
You know, the story you told really quick about the picture and in your mouth, like
that was crazy. Like
that, but however, I had a similar happening, but not quite like that. Very unexplainable. I was in Gettysburg and I was laying on the couch and I thought it felt wet. Something smacked. You could hear it. It smacked my neck.
Yeah.
And I thought there's water coming from the ceiling or something. Right. It was so cold. Yeah. And it was like this, and I'm like, oh, and I go like this and I feel something. I look and it's a dime, right?
Wow.
A dime. And it was freezing cold. And I'm like, and the person that was in the living room with me was like, what the heck was that? Did it smack you? Because it was like loud, right? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I had a red mark,
right?
You know, like, but it was so cold, it felt wet. Yeah. So I'm like, it was a dime. I'm like, where the hell did it come from?
Yeah.
No idea where it came from. Yeah. No idea what. To this day, I mean, that's got to be like that's the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, that's crazy too. That is crazy though.
It is. I mean, so
I have more stories for you too next time I come on. I just thought of one, but we'll tell it next time. That one's scary too. That one's scary too. I forgot. But yeah, that dime thing. Yeah, it's just, you know what it is like, and I haven't had anything happen out here in California. It's just yet. That's true. It's weird when those things happen. It's just very weird and you're really shaken to your core of your beliefs because if you were raised a certain way not to believe in those things and like those aren't real and they're demonic or whatever. But if they happen, and you can't explain it.
You can't explain it.
And you can't deny it. Yeah.
All right. Well, you have to tell your other story.
I will. I'll tell you.
No, tell it.
Oh, now. Yeah. Okay, quick.
We got a couple minutes.
Real fast. So, in high school, Hoffman Estates.
Hoffman Estates High School in the house.
Hoffman Estates High School. Huge shout out. Love you guys. So, we were really fast. I'm going to do this real fast. So, a bunch of us, is me, my best friend John, my girlfriend Dana, my ex-girlfriend Jennifer, and a bunch of other people. We're all riding around Barrington. You know Barrington, like the suburb of Barrington.
Oh, Barrington, yes.
Barrington, Illinois. Barrington is another like rich suburb. And there was like there used to be this insane asylum out in that direction. You used to remember Cuba Road. You've heard of Cuba Road, right?
Cuba Road, yes.
Cuba Road is very haunted. Right. Long story short, we all were at this house. Now, again, at this time, I used to go to church. I have to explain this because it's just ironic what I'm about to say. So at this time, I used to go to church religiously, but I still partied, you know, like every other kid, you know, did my thing. We went through this new construction of a home that was being built, and my John and Dana and Brandy and Jenna, everybody is like, "What the hell is that on the roof of this house?" And they're like, "What is that?" And we're pulling up and getting closer, and the girls are like, "Get the fuck, like, let's go, let's just go." And like, no, let's look. What is it? Now, everybody else could see this entity or ghost. I couldn't see it. And I mean, I got out the car and walked up and was like, where? And they're like, Peppy, it's right there. And I'm like, I cannot see this. They're like, Peppy, it's right there. It's right there. And I'm like, you guys, I'm seriously. And now the guys are getting scared. They're like, Peppy, you need to get in the car. Just get in the car. And I'm like, where though? They're like, Peppy, it's right there. And I'm like, no, it isn't. No, it is. So I get back in the car. Nothing happened to me, thank God. But all the girls are like, the thing, like, it started like falling, like getting down and like whatever it was, is like, look, because it's literally standing on a 2-story house with no, like nothing to hold you up. Like if it was a human, so you can't say it was just some homeless guy standing. Like it literally was. I never saw it. So here we go. I go to church Sunday. I tell my pastor this story, and he goes, Peppy, he goes, because you've been at the church for a while now, he goes, there's some things God will allow you to see and some things God will not allow you to see. Because I brought up the whole Hoffman Estates earlier, the graveyard. He goes, your eyes weren't meant to see that. He goes, I'm not saying that entity was not there. He goes, because you're saying and my friends, a couple of my friends with the church with me, they're like, no, we saw it. He goes, I'm not saying it wasn't there. He goes, but his eyes were not meant to see that. Right. They just weren't meant to. And I said, but I kept trying. Like, he's like, yeah. He goes, it didn't matter. Your eyes were not supposed to see.
Which I'm surprised the pastor would say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something I would say.
He did tell me leave well enough alone. You know what that means. Like, just leave it alone.
Yeah,
but he goes, I get it. You guys are kids. You're 15. You're 16. I get it. But, he goes, you leave it alone. Leave well enough alone. I know I'm out of time, so I'm going to shut you.
Aren't you glad? Because that would have been like, the college part would have been your third strike there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
True. Yeah.
Yep. This is a good question too, what this guy wrote, but that's true. Yep. No.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, saying that. Somebody else said that I left Christianity because it wasn't logical, but I still. I
do too. I do too, Kevin. I do too. Like, because you know how we're young, you go where your parents tell you to go.
Yeah.
But the church was like, don't believe in that. You should not, like, they don't believe in Halloween. Like you should, that's celebrating the devil and all of those things. And it was just weird because you can't explain why I couldn't see it. But 9 of my other high school friends are freaking the F out because they, you got to admit that was weird. So,
yeah, no, absolutely. I always say, I don't understand why the church doesn't, I don't understand why the Catholic Church doesn't acknowledge it because one, they do exorcisms.
Right.
So they do exorcisms.
Right.
And they believe that Jesus rose from the grave.
Yes, they do.
So,
Holy Ghost.
So for me, I'm like, I mean, we could get it. This is a whole nother.
That's a whole nother topic.
I'm just saying, for me, it's
next time.
They came down again.
Why they don't acknowledge that? Why is
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
But listen, if you ever need extras for anything,
I will be hitting all up. Trust me.
And if you ever want to do something in Jersey, you know what I'm saying?
All 3 of y'all are out there, right?
Yeah. Outside of Philly, yeah.
And we film all over the world, all over the country. But yeah, you never know. Like one day I may be like, hey, you guys, we're filming in Jersey for 3 weeks. Whoop, whoop. You never know.
Oh my God.
One last thing. Let me just say this to you and your viewers. Send us, you can go to unsolvedmysteries.com, but send us stories because we will come to your town and investigate murders, mysteries, whatever. We do that. So don't not do it. Don't think, that my story may not. We do look at those. We look at those.
Oh, so that would be great. I would love to hear too.
Then, the reason I'm saying that is send some stuff from Jersey so I can come there on a free vacation. Get it? Send me there so I can come.
You can stay with us if you come.
Yes.
Oh, I would come stay with you guys. But yeah, send us unsolved murders, mysteries, ghost stories, paranormal, all of that stuff. Any of that stuff.
Sounds good.
Do it.
Yeah, absolutely. What do they do? Just go on to the Unsolved Mysteries website? Yeah,
let's go. Yeah, they go to the unsolvedmysteries.com website and then you can submit stories. And we do look at them. Don't think we don't. Some shows don't. We literally have a team at the office that looks at all of those stories. So do not think, oh, this one may not be scary or this won't work, or just send it. You never know. And I'm telling you this to say, even if Unsolved Mysteries doesn't do it, I know other paranormal shows I could, send those stories to. So
yeah, absolutely.
Or murder shows or whatever. But yeah.
Murder shows.
Slice and dice.
For sure.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Rico, thank you so much for taking the time out of taking 1 hour out of your 3 hours that you have.
You're welcome. That's why I'm a little. Yeah.
Everybody that was watching thinks you're awesome. They thought this was such a fun show. So we definitely want to have you on again for sure.
John, let me know.
I'm going to friend you on Facebook so I can stalk you.
Please do.
There's a show.
Yeah. There's so many good shows. And don't be afraid to pitch your ideas to people. You never know. Like, look, the people who are killing it are the ones on YouTube starting their own shows. And then the networks see that and then they scoop them up. So like what you guys are doing right now is the smart thing. Like start your own shows, do your own. That's why me and Romy are funding our own projects. I flew crew in from here to Italy. I flew cameramen in. So like and produce. So you gotta sometimes you gotta put your own money and your own investments and walk the walk and talk the talk. But don't be afraid to believe in your projects. Because if we like this stuff, there's a lot of people out there that like this stuff too, and there's other people that would be interested in what you have to say. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, very inspirational. Thank you.
Yeah, no, everybody watching that, I want them to know that. Like, believe in your dreams, do what you want. To hell with anyone else. To hell with the haters who tell you it'll never work. It will work. You watch. So it'll work.
That's right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we have to find time to bring you on again because this was
anytime.
And I'm looking forward to Unsolved Mysteries and all the other things. Yeah. So thank you again. You have a very infectious smile, and your story is great. So, thank you so much, and thank your husband for that 1 hour that he probably
he's at work right now, so it's all good. Got to make that paper, y'all. We got to make that paper. All of us today. We all doing it. All of us.
So true.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. And thanks everybody for checking in.
Yes, thanks everyone. It was very nice to meet everyone. And hello to everybody out there watching.
So she's just giving you
Ray. Thank you.
I can't wait to meet you in person, Rico.
I know, I can't wait. I'm not kidding. Like I know this COVID stuff is cray, but we all need to get together. I miss it, man. I miss it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I heard so much about you. I'm excited to meet you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, next time, my friend.
All right. You too. Take care, you guys.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
End.